Welcome, Pierre. Welcome to Music for the Mind. How are you this evening?
Very good, Lori. Thank you for inviting me. It's been such an honor to be part of this project for the Canadian Mental Health Association. I find it's really fitting for the song that I chose, and I'm really glad that it was chosen for this compilation.
Well, we're so excited to have you. This compilation has music for everyone, from spoken word to rap to country to folk to instrumental. So, when we heard your song, it was amazing and really wanted to have it on the CD. For those that are just kind of tuning in and listening to this interview, what you're listening to is Music for the Mind. It's a compilation album of 12 songs of New Brunswick artists that the Canadian Mental Health is putting out. Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick is putting out to help break the stigma surrounding mental health, to let people know that they're not alone in their struggles, that people in our province have put words down on paper, and they've put their mental health journeys in song, and it's been therapeutic for them, as I'm sure your instrumental has been very therapeutic to you. You're no stranger to Bob Mersereau. Bob is quite well known on the music scene here in New Brunswick. And for listeners that are just joining in and haven't seen the other interviews that we've done, Bob is a music writer and based in Fredericton, and he's written several books about Canadian music, including a bestseller called The Top 100 Canadian Albums. So we're honored to have Bob as part of Music for the Mind and doing our interviews with our artist. So I'll hand it over to you, Bob.
Thanks, Lori. Hi, Pierre. How are you?
We're doing pretty good, Bob. We meet again.
And it's been a couple of years. I think last time you and I met was with Pony Rouge, right?
Yeah, it was Pony Rouge. We were at the Harvest in Fredericton, and we were having a lot of fun, making some noise on stage in the afternoon, and it was fitting. It was fun, and I hope to do it again someday.
Yeah, so fill me in and fill us in. How's things been going with your music career?
Well, it's a small career in the sense that I do have a day job, which I do appreciate, but music definitely is an outlet for me to express myself, and it's been an ongoing thing. I came out of a musical family. At the age of 15, I started playing guitar and slowly started using or writing instrumental music early on, and it's been a big part of my life, and it's always stayed with me. And I've have children now, and my youngest daughter's 23 now, and she's studying music. So very proud of her in that regard, because it's not easy, as you well know. It's a difficult trade at times, and especially with COVID, there's the proof. But
So Pony Rouge was a full band sound. This is your other side, your quieter and more reflective, and classical guitar. I guess is the best description, although it's a kind of a moody instrumental piece that I don't know. It's hard to pick a genre for it, I guess. But,
it kind of fits well in the album in such a way that it's still a progressive type of piece of music. One of the founding members, Patrick Brown, the drummer, suggested I put this tune on the album, and at first I was reluctant to put it because I thought it really didn't fit with the flow of the album, being that it was a prog rock project.
Yeah.
All instrumental music, of course, but after some thought, I said, you know what? It's going to give us a little break in how the album's going in the sequence of songs. So Raison was one of those songs where I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm so glad that I did do it, because it got me here. Who would have known that someone would have chosen that song as a type of reflective, moody, introspective song that fits well with mental health and how to deal with feelings and how to approach life.
Well, you're the one who highlighted it first and said, as the composer, and said, this is what I'm feeling behind this song. So what does Raison être mean to you? What do you think of, and what have you always thought of in the composition?
Well, as we get older, and we're probably around the same age.
No, I'm much younger, but go
Okay,
ahead.
sorry. I shouldn't say that really, but what happens when we get older, we realize that we have to accept who we are as our core and not be afraid to show that core. And to me, raison d'être is people should be just who they are and accept how they feel at that particular moment in time, and that it's not bad. Thoughts are just thoughts and they will pass. And, it's all right to feel lonely. It's all right to feel shame. It's all right to feel inadequate. So for me, that song was a reflective piece in that regard. It just made me think, you know what? You're doing an album. It's great, but you don't have a singer. There's no singer in your band. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing an instrumental album? So it was one of those things that really bothered me at first. Like, I felt inadequate in the project. So at the end of the day, I realized, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And if I like it, maybe somebody else will.
It's always been interesting to me that, a song without lyrics, an instrumental, a song without lyrics has a meaning still. And I think the composer gets it. They know what's going through their mind when they're making it. They know that they're interpreting their emotions in a musical sense. But is that how you compose? Do you compose with a feel, with an emotion?
There is that aspect of it for sure, because it comes from the writer, but it also gives the listener the opportunity to make their own story.
Right.
And for me, that's the biggest thing that draws me to instrumental music. When I was a kid, my dad played in a big band. He played in northern New Brunswick in the mid-50s, and he played in a big band called the Stardusters, and they used to play live on the radio. That's the way they did it back in the day. So there was always music in the house. And when I was a kid, I'd just lock myself up in the bedroom and I would listen to shortwave radio. And I couldn't understand some of the DJ languages, but I was listening to the music and I was always drawn to instrumental music. And for me, I felt that it took the limits out of the spoken word. And we do know that the spoken word is very important, but much more so for me, unable to express myself, growing up with the teenage angst. I felt that instrumental sounds, moods would reflect how I felt because I didn't have the tools to express myself.
Yeah. Let's talk about music and mental health and how it has affected your life. How has music helped you as a person get over all those anxieties that we all have? And what is that connection for you?
Well, for me, there's been a history of mental health in my family, and it's been difficult to say the least. It's something that most people don't want to talk about. There's shame behind it. And back in the days of the 60s, my mom had mental health issues, and she was taken away from home when we were younger for bouts at a time, for hospitalization, and it was very difficult, and we didn't understand what it was. So that stayed with us, but no one talked about it. And for me, the music put that all together because I had feelings that I couldn't express, that I didn't really understand what they were, and there was shame involved. There was, trying to keep secrets. Like even family members would say, they wouldn't talk about it. So I only come to find out when I was a younger adult, like my older sisters would tell me, your mom, she had difficulties and, she had to go away and we were placed with our friends or our relatives. So back in the day, like these things that would happen today, there's medication for that, or there's different techniques to deal with that. But back in those days, in the early 60s, late 50s, the treatments were probably more severe that, we probably don't even want to mention what they used to do.
Yeah. And for you, when this call for submissions came up, did you immediately think, yeah, that's something I want to be a part of?
Absolutely. For me, it's like, here's a chance for me to propose a music that doesn't have a storyline, in the sense that the person that listens to it can make their own storyline and make it personal, make it intimate upon what they're living at that given time. So for me, that was the power. I said, you know what? I got to go for it. I'm going to submit, and I hope that it's accepted.
And what do you hope people walk away from, walk away after hearing your song? What's that? What do you get any good reaction like that?
Well, for me, it's like, I just hope that when people listen to the music, that they just feel accepted, that they just accept the song as it comes into them, so that they can just accept their own reality and accept how they feel. And it's all about feeling your feelings and not negating your feelings. Because when we hide away from our feelings, they're still there, and they're going to come up and remind us, hey, you're not dealing with this. Hey, you're not expressing this, and you should. So that, for me, is a vehicle. And I hope that people use that as a vehicle to expression, and hopefully lead to conversation.
Yeah. Well, it fits in great with the album. I've heard the whole thing. You haven't had a chance yet to hear everything, but it is great that we have, it's kind of a pause to reflect too. So that's
I'm
all.
really,
Yeah.
really excited about the whole project, and I understand there's 12 songs,
Yeah.
and it's going to be released as we go, and it sounds like an exciting concept. So I'm really looking forward to hearing all the other participants, and for the reason that it is mental health, I'm sure it's going to be a treat.
Well, thanks a lot for submitting. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure and my honor, and it has been great to be with you guys and to talk about this sensitive topics at times, but when we talk about them, we get through them.
Sensitive topic, yeah, sensitive topics indeed, but topics that need to be discussed for sure.
Absolutely.
When we discuss them, it results in breaking down that stigma of that shame that people feel when they go through a mental health issue or have a mental illness. Pierre, when I first heard your song, I thought to myself, what a great piece of what a great piece of music. I mean, while you have your emotions attached to it, and people will get to understand it, when they click on the QR code on the back of the CD and it takes them to the website with your story. I also see it as a tool that somebody could possibly put in their toolbox, that they can maybe put this CD on and they can maybe do breathing techniques to it, or maybe some imagery in their mind's eye of a wonderful place that they have been, and do some relaxation and meditation with the song. So it's kind of this oasis in the middle of our CD, really, with all the different genres that are there. This is like the oasis in the middle of the CD.
Well, that sounds like just about right in the way I see the song. It is a place to park.
Yes, very much so. Thank you so much for donating your song to the Music for the Mind, and for volunteering your time, and for supporting mental health. And Bob, thank you as well
Thank
for
you so
what
much.
you're doing with the Music for the Mind and mentoring me, and your support for mental health as well. Much love and respect to you both.
Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you, Bob. It's been a pleasure and a heartfelt interview that I'll
And
share.
we'll see you again soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.